thinking it was Saturday, waking up this morning thinking it was Sunday. I don't know.
Because your December has been dirty back to back.
I think I'm just in a party mood.
And now.
It feels like, it's been holiday.
Yes.
And the weekend, and so...
She has been enjoying herself.
But she's been sleeping in, though.
I've been sleeping in, yeah.
She's
On
been
Christmas
sleeping in a
Day,
lot.
I slept for hours.
What are you doing on Saturday, tomorrow? Sunday.
There's an event.
You see, I know now.
Bukola, and I wanted to welcome you specially.
Thank you.
I wanted to welcome you specially.
I'm
Bukola.
actually jealous. I am jealous because my own December is so clean. No stain, no ombule. What's that thing again?
Ombule.
She knows it. No ombule, nothing. It's so clean. No single stain.
So if your December has been really clean, then that means you have a dirty January.
Dirty January.
I really hope so.
It's nice to have you again.
Thank you very
Bukola,
much. It's
I am
good to be back
Adebimpe
here.
Omotayo. It's nice to be back here.
Okay, well, the three ladies are here. Joy and Jibola are not here today, and it promises to be quite an exciting show. You know how we do it on Fridays? We just love to take it nice and slow, forget all the politics, forget all the stories, and then just do something light and, family issues, things, that will just help you calm your nerves. And today, our conversations on both sides of the table will be things that at least should make you happy and help you soothe all of the origbono that you've been carrying. No.
As at today, Friday, because we're gradually going to the end of 2024.
Yeah.
So I think, just relax. Since January 1st. Now.
I know, right? And if God has been merciful to keep you alive, I mean, just take it in your stride.
It's been a journey.
Just to be alive alone in Nigeria.
It's enough.
Testimony.
It's enough.
It is. It's enough.
And 2024 has been really tough.
Very, very tough. And people still made it through. We made it through now.
I would say this is one of the toughest
I can't wait for you to go. Just
in the
go.
last 10 years.
Like, just carry your wahala.
Go. I can't wait for 2024 to
And
go.
we'll begin to look forward to a better and a more prosperous 2025. Okay, let's start the show and let's take our news points for today. Let's start from the very most serious issue, and I think that's the PVC issue. Bukola, are you ready? Let's take that.
Coming a minute. Okay, INEC to destroy over 6 million uncollected PVCs. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, is contemplating a policy to withdraw and destroy permanent voter cards that remain uncollected for a decade. This recommendation was among the 208 proposals arising from the Commission's review of the 2023 general elections. The move stemmed from the persistent issue of unclaimed PVCs with over 6 million cards still unconnected as of the 2023 elections, including many issued as far back as 2015. Now, stakeholders in the post-election review recommended that INEC address the backlog of uncollected PVCs by implementing a policy to withdraw PVCs that remain uncollected for extended periods, starting with cards issued in 2015. The rationale is that these cards are unlikely to be claimed and their retention clogs the voter management system. It's a long story, and it's a very long story, and it's a good idea that INEC wants to, destroy this PVCs. It just shows the level of voter apathy that we have in Nigeria.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, why would you go through that stress of getting registered for your PVC and then don't go to collect it? And again, from this story, INEC has made it so easy to locate your PVCs online. Just locate your PVC online, then go to where.
Because you even know where you registered.
Even
So,
if you,
and then you
because
can
they've
go to the
moved,
local government area.
okay, let's say if they moved the PVC from one place and maybe during distribution process now, and they moved it to another local government, just go online and check for it, and then you collect your PVC. But people are not just interested.
Exactly. No, I think even if people are not just interested, I think some people have moved addresses. Some have jackpad.
Some have died.
Some have died,
And some are just not
Some are
keen.
just, they're unbothered.
For me, it's voter apathy. It just shows
Yes.
the level of
They're not-
voter
they're not-
apathy.
they're not
People are not
interested.
interested.
Yeah.
Voter apathy, but then there has to also be, so what happens if you, during the next election, you go and re-register?
They will vote.
They will
No, I'm
not.
just saying, if you do not have a card, because again, you know how we tie these things to various things in Nigeria, and then you want to pick up something, they'll tell you go and bring your voter card. You want to pick something, they tell you go and bring your LASTRA card in Lagos. And so if you do not have a voter card, or you need to pick up something in the bank and they tell you go bring an ID. And so now if for 10 years, so again, and I just like you said, I like the fact that there's a time frame. If you haven't picked something for 10 years, then you don't need it.
You don't need it.
You don't need it. So again, it probably also, maybe we also need to look at, this is where INEC also needs to look at moving away from these issuance of cards.
In fact, INEC is saying that with the
So maybe
BVAS now,
yes,
we don't
need the PVC.
you don't
Yeah.
need
We don't
the
need the
PVC
PVC.
again. All you need to maybe just a code, or maybe
yes,
something
yes.
that can validate
a
your
computer-generated
identity.
slip. But my issue is that we've not done well with the PVC. How do we want to do well with the computer-generated slip? That's
Again,
just it.
so maybe that one, I don't know how they will do it, but maybe, you know, it's not compulsory that you have a card. So if your data has been there, you probably just need to validate and then just prove that this is me.
Abimbola,
This is Nigeria.
Can't our NIN slips or cards, can't it just suffice?
That was what it was meant
suffice
to be. It was
for,
meant to be
you
the
know, voting.
NIN. Yes, it was meant to be, you know, the one-stop shop where, you know, you can link your bank card, where you can, you know, use
Even your international passport.
Yeah, so I
and
mean,
things like
that is your identity as a Nigerian. But do you know how many people that have not collected their names?
You see?
And they have bank accounts?
Well,
Or
okay,
maybe
so this is where we'd also have to go back to the agencies. You know, so many people are still carrying their slips. When will the cards be ready?
Do you have a card?
I don't have a card.
I used to have a card.
I have a slip.
I have a slip.
I had a card
I had-
in my
yes.
old name.
Yeah, yes, I had
So when
a
I did my
card a
change
long
of
time
name,
ago.
I have the slip now.
Me, I have the slip.
Me, I have
been
a
carrying
slip.
that slip around for like how many years now?
I've had that. I was one of those that did. That
Yes,
did
the early
late
people
registration.
That, you know,
I just did mine in 2020.
So I think INEC should just go ahead and destroy these PVCs.
So go ahead and destroy
yes,
the
they
card.
should.
That's
If we
okay.
don't need them, then go ahead.
Let's run. Adebimpe, let's take your mistakenly story now. I think.
Identity. Sokoto accidental bombing. Military blames villagers as ex-governor others demand probe. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, has warned civilians harboring suspected criminals to desist from such acts or face the consequences of their actions. He stated this during his visit to the troops of Operation Fasanyama at 8th Division headquarters in Sokoto. The CDS said this in response to the Christmas Day bombing of civilians in 2 communities in the Silame local government by the Nigerian Air Force. An airstrike intended to neutralize Lakurawa terrorists mistakenly hit Gidansama and Rumtua communities, killing at least 10 villagers and leaving several others wounded. However, Sokoto State Governor Alhaji Ahmed Aliyu, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, and ex-Sokoto Governor Aminu Tambuwa have called for an impartial investigation into the incident. But speaking to journalists on the accidental bombing, Musa hinted that the villagers were to blame for allegedly harboring terrorists, insisting that the military would not take any responsibility for attacks on any community, hobnobbing with the militants. Oh, let me go down. He added the incident that happened on that day was an operation they did, and they followed up, and they tried as much as they could to avoid any mistakes. If there are other mistakes that came up in the operation, they will investigate.
Hey.
So why did they say it was a mistaken bombing?
Now I'm confused because this same CDS yesterday said that there was no mistake in the military airstrike.
And so if any mistake had happened,
Now I'm confused.
the community is to be blamed.
I don't get it. Why
So
would
they
you
are
blame-
owning up. Yeah.
No, they are not. What they are
because
saying
I
is
don't
that
get-
what happened on
Was
their
not
own
a
perspective,
mistake.
It was a deliberate thing.
It was
Was-
deliberate.
yes, it was not a mistake.
And so for them, it was because after their surveillance showed that the villagers were harboring bandits. And so if they were harboring bandits, how could you distinguish bandits from the villagers,
from the villagers,
or from the communities?
So
just accept there was a mistake.
So who came up with that very first statement that it was a
admit
mistake?
There was a mistake and move on.
We can't even move on.
No. What I'm saying is,
For
because
me,
now what are you
the life-
justifying?
I agree with you, but the
Exactly,
life of
what are
every
you-
Nigerian
Which
matters.
was what we said yesterday, that you can't continue to, this cannot continue without
Cannot.
consequences.
You know this is not the
Cannot.
first mistake. You know this is not the
It
first
is
mistake.
not, and it will
Not.
not be the last.
Definitely. So you see this probe is just probe on paper. Nothing is going
will
to happen.
Nothing will happen.
Nothing. And it's so sad that we don't value the life.
Lives.
I don't know. We don't value our lives here in this part of the world. It is so unfair.
It is really unfair.
10
honestly.
people died
I
and then
don't-
nothing is going to happen and not even taking responsibility for it.
And they're even
No.
blaming them.
Now
Yes.
you are blaming the community
blaming the
members
community.
for
There should,
harboring
be, there
bandits.
should be a way to, distinguish the terrorists from the community members.
How
Even
would
if they were harboring.
Even if they were harboring, how would you know? From your surveillance,
I don't know.
from your intelligence
there
report,
are some signs that
the terrorists will have it on their foreheads.
I don't know.
I'm a terrorist. I'm a villager.
I think for Nigeria. The final story this morning is actually a special report, and of course it is talking about the GENCOs and the debts owed, and this will likely hamper the plans of the Federal Minister of Power, which was to increase power generation to 6,000 megawatts. Yeah, so faced by low generation, the Minister of Power, Chief Adebayo Adelabo, in March set a target of 6,000 megawatts before the end of the year. Which year now? This year that is almost ended.
No, it is this year.
The target has, however, not been met due to several reasons, including grid collapses, poor financial state of the sector, and lack of clear path to growth by sector's administrators. With an installed power generation capacity of 13,000 megawatts, the performance of the sector continues to raise questions about the capacity and sincerity of the government and operators to improve electricity supply. Third quarter 2024 report of the sector by the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, showed that the 28 power plants on the grid available capacity was just 5,100 megawatts, with average hourly generation of 4,280 megawatts. GENCOs have blamed the huge debt owed them by the market as one of the reasons for the drastic drop in available capacity. So according to the Executive Director of the Association of Power Generation Companies, Dr. Joy Ogaji, outstanding debts to GENCOs over the years have reached 2.7 trillion naira, and specifically for 2024, payment document shows that as at the end of August 2024, GENCO's debt for the year had reached 1.495 trillion naira. Let's leave it at that.
Okay, so I feel at this point, our power sector needs deliverance. It's as if there's a demon that has, held that power sector to ransom, because we keep pumping money into that sector and we have nothing to show for it. Generating power is not rocket science, Abi.
Yeah, it's not rocket science. So I mean,
So what is the problem?
So as much as we will blame the GENCOs, we also need to, government also is at fault, because you'd also realize that government agencies are the most agencies who owe.
Yeah,
the
I agree.
GENCOs. You find, and on top of the list, you find especially the teaching hospitals, you find the universities, you find the secretariat, and these are government establishments. So if you want the GENCOs to perform, pay them. You can't be owing.
Okay, for those of us who pay regularly and we still have to deal with epileptic power supply.
They can't supply
what
you
they,
power.
what they don't have.
I understand.
Like that.
Because, okay, fine, I agree with you that, yes, people are owing the GENCOs.
Okay.
But the GENCOs, too, are they doing what they're supposed to do?
They
will
will
do
tell you
it
that
if
they
they have
can't
money.
do it because they don't have money.
Excuse me?
Because they will tell you they can't do that. They don't have
I understand.
money. They
Yes,
don't
I
have the funds
understand.
to.
I agree with you, but let's just take away from the debt now. Leave the debt alone now.
How will
Your
you
power
service the
supply in your area,
infrastructure?
how is it like now? Tell me, your area.
There
Are you on
has to be a
Band-Aid?
problem.
Are you on Band-Aid?
I've had lights straight on since.
You're on Band-Aid.
Since
Fine.
Friday.
Yeah. And
There are some people in this Lagos
Straight.
who have not had light in like maybe a month.
It's possible.
On and off, on and off.
It's
possible.
So, okay, yes.
It's possible. Again, I mean, it's just like every other thing. When there are no problems, then you can function. Now, Adelabu, most times, a couple of times, I've also talked about infrastructure deficit.
Yes,
How would
and
you-
vandals destroying
so
transmission.
How would you, when you do not have, when there's an infrastructure deficit,
Yes.
and money is not coming in as it should come. So for those of us that, yes, are on prepaid, how many, if you pull the number of people that are
On prepaid meter, yes.
it is not even half of those that are on estimated billing.
I agree. But even those on estimated
And some that
billings
are not
paying.
even metered.
They are not even paying what they should be paying. You will find that
They are paying more than those on estimated are paying more.
Bukola, those that are on estimated,
Are paying more.
they are paying more, but they will not pay everything.
They won't pay everything.
For example, if they brought them a bill of 50,000,
They can pay
will
20.
say, I'll pay 20. I will carry it next. So continue to carry next. Continue to carry next.
So are you saying that because people are owing the Gencos, that is why we don't have we have epileptic power supply? Is that what you are saying now?
Bukola,
Is that what you are saying now? So that's the reason.
Gencos
Let's
have
be realistic
Gencos
here.
have a genuine excuse
Have a
or
genuine
reason.
reason.
If they are not funded, if they don't have the funds,
What's going to happen?
they cannot generate power.
So we have to look at this
If they don't have the
from
funds,
all sides.
That is
if
what
you
I'm
don't have
saying.
money, if
Let
you
us
don't
look
have
at
money
it
to
from
buy
all-
fuel in your car,
Let
how
us
will you
look at
get
it
to
from-
work?
Let us look at it
How
from
will you
all
move
sides.
around?
Yes, people are owing the Gencos. Vandals are destroying the infrastructure. And then, of course, even those that are paying are not even enjoying the supply.
Okay,
They are not.
Go to Magodo. They are enjoying
I
it.
don't have a problem. I'm on band A. But I
But you
know,
have supply.
yes, we
Yes.
do. But I know, my mom, for example, now, pays.
Right.
But
she's on
is it estimated billing?
No, 24 hours, and then she gets maybe 10 hours. She has a prepaid meter in her house.
What band is she on?
I don't know. I don't know.
And so you have to find out.
Must I be on one particular
how
band
come-
to have power, to have uninterrupted power supply in this 21st century?
Okay,
That's my question.
maybe
In
not.
this
Must I be-
21st century,
Must I be?
in this 21st century in Nigeria, where we have one of the things,
What's that?
what did you call it? Deficit.
Yes.
Yes.
Infrastructure deficit.
Yes.
You know,
And
our power
Bukola,
supply,
listen, now, here's
our
another
power
thing.
sector
Here's another thing.
has
We-
challenges.
Now,
Thank you. Challenges, not a challenge.
Challenges.
it's not only one.
Yes.
And you would also realize that not all the Gencos do not get their supply from one source. There's the Egbi Temal. There's the One. So they have different sources where they pull their supplies from. And so
yeah.
their capacities are also different.
All I am saying is that we should not look at it as just one, okay, they are owing the Gencos. Let us take an overall look at this issue
It is one
of
of the
uninterrupted
reasons.
power supply. We can have
is
it.
the
What is
biggest.
that?
It is
Debt.
the biggest.
Money owed is the biggest.
It is.
I disagree.
It is not. Is it not money that you use to generate? The
I know
supply
it
that
is
you
money.
want?
Okay, even when we were not owing them, when we had no Gencos, what happened? When we had no Gencos, what happened?
Are we-
And when Gencos came on board, what happened? Why did we not have uninterrupted power supply then?
During NEPA,
Yes.
we used to.
Says who?
We used to.
Hey, no!
We used to, we used to.
During NEPA, we had on. Are you for real? Seriously?
It wasn't this,
Listen,
at least, it
Bukola,
wasn't this
it
bad.
might
In fact, now it is even better
It
now.
might not be 24 hours, but power was stable.
Power was more
During
stable.
NEPA.
Yes.
Yes, we didn't have grid collapses.
Did we have?
Okay,
Did we have
so
national
are
grid
you
collapse?
saying that the grid collapsed because they are owing Genco?
They
Is that what you are
don't
saying?
know the grid collapses.
Because they are owing Genco.
You're getting it wrong.
No.
You're getting
Bukola,
this thing
no.
wrong, Bukola.
I understand what you are saying.
Listen.
But don't just take
The
a look
power
at it from
sector
just that
has, the
angle.
power sector
It is an
has
over-
a myriad of
Thank you,
challenges.
That's what I'm saying.
There
That
are
also we
myriads
should-
of challenges.
We should not just focus on the debts.
We are focusing on that based on this report.
Based on that, you probably talked about vandalism too.
Yes, but the biggest is because they are being owed. And then that is
Okay,
why,
so
and that is, like you said, yes, there are myriads of challenges.
Yes.
But again, if there is no money to do many things.
Many things.
Okay, so those are owing the Gencos, please pay, because we need to
And
see
that
if
is
the
why
Gencos
the
will
federal
live up to
government should
their
also be
expectations.
called out because they are the biggest ones
I know,
owing.
definitely, yes, I know.
So there are myriads of challenges, agreed. And again, these things are intertwined. No matter how you take a look at them.
Yeah,
that is what I'm saying. I just don't want us to focus on that debt. I agree, yes, debt is important, is a major factor.
But it's debt we are talking about, too.
No, this story, I read the story all through.
It's more of debt, too.
It's not, no.
It's more of debt.
If you read it down, they talked about vandalism, they talked about, what else again? So many challenges they mentioned in this story.
Let's move on. Let's move on to our hashtag today. And hashtag today, of course, on the X platform is about Asake and YBNL, that is Olamide.
Asake star boy.
And you know that story, I don't know, you know, again, sometimes people will flip on just one side of the coin, not knowing what has happened or what has transpired, and then jump on it and then start making a whole lot of it. I think 2 days ago, I stumbled on the story where Asake was said to have deleted everything that had to do with YBNL on his IG page, and a lot of people were wondering, was it a cryptic message? Was it trying to say something? Not until yesterday that the news broke that there was a contractual issue in the renewal of contracts between Asake and YBNL Records, of course, Olamide. And as we speak, I think it is still not very clear what exactly the issues are.
Oh, I don't want them to part ways.
When Olamide
had
his concert, where I think it was Monday or Tuesday, I noticed that Asake did not perform.
He was not there.
He was not there.
Oh.
And I was like, what's going on? That was when I started, you know, that was when I had this suspicion, you know, what's going on? Is he out of the country? Does he have his own concert, you know, somewhere? And then just immediately after the concert, you know, these stories started, you know, coming up that Asake and his brother are fighting.
I don't want them to part ways.
I don't want them to.
Because, no, they are good together.
True.
It reminds me of D'banj and Don Jazzy.
And Don Jazzy.
When they parted ways, you know, they just, you know, things just went down.
There's always that thing about, you know, a group thing and you going solo. And like Oye Mike said, Asake needs Olamide, YBNL needs Asake.
Yes.
So this contract thing should just be relaxed a bit, meaning that there's something, you know, in the contract that is actually
I saw another video.
Kind of problem.
I also saw another video about Asake when he was being interviewed, and he was talking about how he met Olamide.
Yeah, I saw that video too.
Oh, Olamide said, "Would you like to join YBNL?" And he said, As in, what type of question is that?
Like,
so he said he should go and read the contract.
He said he didn't.
He didn't
And
read it.
you said that is a problem. That is a problem. I remember we had an artist manager here months ago. He mentioned this particular thing, and he said, even if you cannot read the contract yourself, if you cannot interpret it, get a lawyer to help you do it. There's a need to put friendship aside, and this is pure business.
I think he was just too excited to join
YBNL. So
Yes.
it probably
It was
also didn't read through the lines.
It was
so now that he's matured.
Do you think he's matured? He spent just 2 years. Just 2 years in the music industry.
He spent 2 years.
He's no longer where he was.
He's no longer where he was.
I agree with you,
His
but
craft has changed.
For some people, Asake is still an upcoming, in quotes now, artist.
You know,
for some people.
Artists also are human and things get into their heads.
Yes.
So probably he has now taken his time to read that contract.
Or somebody has said.
Or somebody has opened his eyes.
See what you are missing.
Look at what
in
you are.
that contract.
Asake and Olamide, please, if you are listening, please, we don't want you guys to part ways. You are just too good together. Asake, the musical artist, Olamide, the producer. No, now, I like that combo. It's fire. No. Please, keep giving us.
We just hope that, you know, whatever it is, both guys can work, you know, through it and just look at how best they can make this work. I'm not sure that going their separate ways will do any of them good.
No, please, they shouldn't.
They shouldn't, though. I was within the issue of coming on social media and removing all your pictures and everything, having issues with somebody.
I don't know, is it matured?
No.
It's just to send the message to us.
Yes,
And we got the message.
You guys can fight and not, you know.
Okay. I'm just going to, because again, our guest is not here yet, so let's just while away a little bit of time. A particular person on X did say something, and I think it's worth reading. This person says, first off, a lot of people are taking sides while these gentlemen have handled things professionally. I've seen a podcast claim, I think that's what you both talked about, Olamide didn't take advantage of Asake, while others use old videos of Asake to justify their opinions. But if you look back at Ashake's last album, he gave us all the insights into his journey. That is why I believe he'll be the next artist to elevate Afrobeats to even greater heights. Wizkid and SARS recognized this early, which is why they were quick to work with him. For the record, Olamide's first Grammy nomination came courtesy of Asake. Let's dive on Ashake's contract with YBNL. So this issue,
and fans too, they play.
Yes,
they
fans,
very important role, because when they win,
they'll
put
do
fire
everything,
under, and they'll keep. They do too much. They do too much every time.
Online in-laws.
Thank you. Same with Teddy BG and Wizkid FC, always fighting on.
Yesterday was another problem.
What happened yesterday?
It had to do with Wizkid. It was reported that he just bought 2 houses, 1.2 billion naira each in Ikoyi.
Okay.
And some people were insulting him. What type of house is this? I said,
those are insulting him, eh?
And they
very well. They don't have keke. They're in 1 room apartment.
1 room keke. They're in a hut. With no mattress to lie on. Once they can have their 200 naira.
We call them keypad warriors.
Data.
We call them keypad warriors.
How can you say 1.2 billion naira house?
What did he buy?
All of us have seen the houses. And you're saying, what kind of house is this? It's not fine. This is 1.2 billion.
Well,
rubbish.
They have the keypad. The owner of the house has the houses. So now them sabi.
At this keypad warriors.
But they make social media fun for us. They make it fun.
I gave up that. I just gave up yesterday. I said, no, I can't.
You can't do it.
It's when they fight, 30 BG and Wizkid FC. I enjoy. Me, I'm an all-rounder. I love both of them. I don't want to take sides. So I think people should not take sides with this Asake and Olamide case too. Please.
I love both of them.
Yes.
So I can't take sides.
I'm not going to take sides.
No. Anyway, wherever you are, whichever side you are tilting towards today, let's just hope that these gentlemen will, reach an agreement and overcome all that is going on, between them. We need to take a quick break. When we return, hopefully our guests will be here and we'll take on our very first conversation on the program today.